Hey guys, welcome to another episode where I'm comparing the Hasbro Black Series helmets to some of these higher end prop replicas. And today we're going to be looking at the Hasbro Boba Fett helmet, and I think it's from Empire Strikes Back. There's really no indication on the box. It's definitely from the original trilogy though. So we're going to look at this guy, do an unboxing, and compare it to the Master Replicas helmet, which was actually made from a production helmet that eventually they used for Empire Strikes Back. So has some lineage. This one obviously doesn't have lineage, but let's see if $100, compared to a couple $1,000s for that other helmet is actually worth it. So let's go take a look at it.
All right, so here it is, and the box is very typical of these Hasbro Black Series helmets. As you can see there, the stock and the rangefinder are, kind of attached to the top, so you do have to break that to release it. And so far, it looks pretty good. The stock is pretty clean, but obviously that's not a big deal. The helmet is looking good. I mean, yeah, and the weight is pretty good. But most of these Hasbro Black Series helmets have some pretty decent weight to them. So, I wasn't surprised there. But man, this is actually looking really, really good. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the paint job is just great. Especially for being what I got this actually for $100 on Big Bad Toy Store. They had a sale and it was literally $99. So I mean, you can't beat that for this price. Wow, that's really good. So here's the little instructions, pretty basic, right? You open it up, drop a AAA battery on it, and the rangefinder should start lighting up. And here it is. Man, I mean, they got all the layering there. I mean, right off the bat, I could tell that a lot of the landmark markings are there. I mean, there's not a lot that's missing. Man, I'm really surprised with this helmet. It just feels really good. Probably, it's safe to say so far, this is probably the best Black Series helmet that I've run into. I mean, better than the Mandalorian one, better than the Darth Vader one. You even got, they try to mimic the little parts inside of the that back part, but they didn't quite get it. But it's still, I mean, the fact that they, paid attention to those little details is great. Man, I'm kind of floored by how good this looks. There's the little cheek piece. And then if you push this button, as you can see there, the little rangefinder turns on. But in my personal opinion, the coolest thing is the fact that the inner part of the rangefinder turns on. I mean, my inner child is screaming right now. Like, how cool would that be to play with this helmet, as a kid? The inside of the helmets, and I think all of the Black Series helmets kind of come similar to this, where it has a bunch of, little greeblies and little plastic moldings to make it look like a cool electronic helmet, right? So it's really cool. And again, for $100, man, you can't go wrong. I had to show you what it looks like through the visor. And here it is next to the Master Replicas helmet. And this is what we all came to see. And right off the bat, I could tell you that the Hasbro Black Series helmet is actually technically more accurate as far as the T-visor, because you see how the Master Replicas is a little pinched on the bottom. It's not supposed to be at an angle. Boba Fett's helmet's supposed to be very straight. And the Master Replicas one, they're known for that error, that they're pinched on the bottom a little bit. And as far as the paint, I mean, look at this. It looks great. I mean, obviously, I think the Master Replica is a little bit more accurate as far as the green color. And then these ones have a little bit more weathering, kind of the silver chipping. But you wouldn't be able to tell. Now, the other thing that the Hasbro one is actually technically more accurate is that Boba Fett's only supposed to have 14 kill stripes. And the Master Replicas helmets were infamously wrong because they put 15 kill stripes. So they added an extra kill stripe there, which is not supposed to be there. Again, the Master Replicas, it has some lineage, right? It's casted from the pre-production helmet that eventually turned into the Empire Strikes Back helmet. So there's some lineage to the Lucasfilm archives that the Hasbro one is not going to have. But for you, is it worth, paying a few $1,000s more? Probably not. Maybe. I guess it depends on the type of collector you are, right? For me, it is important. I want to have stuff that has lineage to it. I want to make sure that, there's some type of connection to the Lucasfilm archives. But for displaying purposes, the Black Series helmet looks amazing. Now, the sizes of the helmets are pretty much identical. I did notice the little cheek part, the with the 3 holes on the Master Replica one, it's painted. On the Hasbro one, it's not. And this all depends on which helmet you're looking at. The screen used one, pre-production, or just some background helmet. Some of them are painted. Most of them are not though. So if you just Google Boba Fett, right, you'll immediately notice the silver little part. So again, not necessarily a mistake, but more classic look is probably the silver. And here, don't get me wrong, the Master Replicas one, obviously with the lineage and all that, it's casted in fiberglass. The Hasbro one's plastic. So it is a higher quality helmet, just regardless. But, just to be fair, and obviously as collectors are looking for Boba Fett helmets, there's a lot of choices. I just wanted to show you these two, but you also have EFX, right? EFX has the PCR helmet, which is also, it has lineage to the original one. So, there's that option as well. But for now, we're just looking literally kind of at the top as far as expensive wise, and then kind of the bottom, which is the Hasbro one. But again, all of the details are there. You see there the little black details. So, I mean, if you were to ask me right now, here's the inside of the Master Replicas one. If you were to ask me right now if the Hasbro one is worth it, I would tell you 1,000,000% it is worth it. It is probably one of the best looking helmets that Hasbro has put out. So absolutely, if you're thinking about getting something just to display or just to, for it to look cool in your collection, this Hasbro Black Series helmet is definitely the way to go. Obviously, for some hardcore collectors, definitely look into the Master Replicas one, maybe even the EFX one, or maybe some fan-made one that's out there. Just all depends what you're looking for. But hopefully you guys like this review and this comparison. I'll try to make some more as I'm getting some more Black Series helmets. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure you subscribe and ring that little bell so you get notified. Thanks, guys.